everyone to the next episode of Up the Ladder. And this is Dr. Endel and Angela from Westerville Chiropractic and Nutrition. And today we are going to be chatting about a little bit of weight loss and why we love our 6-week healthy transformation. It's not just about weight loss, it's about a lot more than that.
But yes, developing healthy eating patterns.
Yes.
A little bit of anti-inflammatory protocols, so we're taking some inflammation down in the body and in the digestive system.
Yeah. And everyone comes into the office who's looking at this program and says, their primary factor or driver is, they feel like they want to lose weight.
Right.
But at the end of it, it's a lot more than, the weight loss is almost a side effect of all the other positive benefits that they see.
Agreed, 100%. I love this program because this program really works with the body rather than against the body. And we're using whole foods, which is huge because it's not shakes, it's not bars, it's actually getting on board with something that your body can, like I said, develop good habits down the road and things that you can utilize from this point all the way through.
Yeah, so I guess a little bit of backstory on, we've been doing the program in the office for probably 18 months now, close to that. And previous to that, we had been looking at a program specific to weight loss, and everything that I could find out there was mostly geared towards prepackaged foods, because we already had, some cleanses, and that's not really, again, a weight loss is kind of a side effect of, a positive side effect of that, but it's not really a weight loss program. This is a true kind of designated weight loss program. I got introduced to the program by a colleague of mine in Washington who had tremendous things to say about it. So we started looking into it. We did a test group of about 6 or 8 people, I want to say last April, not this past, but a year ago April, and we were blown away at the changes.
Yes.
I think one gentleman who did it lost 38 pounds in 6 weeks.
Yes.
Yeah, like crazy.
Yes. Exactly.
Results and changes. And so, we didn't even wait for them to finish the program. As soon as we started seeing the results and changes, because it involves whole food and health, it's things that we would do on a regular basis. And there are things that you could continue to do afterwards.
That's right.
Right. And so that's why we really introduced this program to the office and started recommending it a lot. So let's break down what are a couple of the main, areas that make this program successful.
I fell in love with the program because your body won't take action on something it doesn't want. We don't want to feel deprivation. I mean, everybody wants to feel satisfied and safe because those are primary human basic needs. And I really love that that you're working with an unforced rhythm rather than forcing an action like starving your body into submission or punishing it into perfection will always backfire. And instead what this does is it comes alongside of you and your needs, and it actually performs more effortlessly because you're giving the body what it needs. When you are dumping whole food nutrients into your body, it signals the hypothalamus to recognize that all of the nutritional density is being met. So it actually slows those hunger hormones down just a bit. I call them gremlins, but they're really called kremlins. but it really does just allow your body more of that release mechanism and less of that storing mechanism.
Interesting. So walk through what some of the not recommendations per se, like all of the recommendations, but what types of things would people recognize, right? Like, I know intermittent fasting is part of it.
Yes.
The a low glycemic, anti-inflammatory, insulin-friendly diet is part of it.
Yes.
So walk through, I guess, a brief. We've got intermittent fasting, the food choices. What else is involved with, I guess, kind of a broad perspective of the program?
So another concept is that weight equals waste. So if your body can use something for cellular energy, it is going to metabolize that and eliminate it efficiently. If it comes into contact with something it doesn't recognize as food, so that's the first is that it's all recognizable food. And what some of that intermittent fasting and eating for your own health is actually going to eliminate a lot of waste or toxicity cellularly. So one of the benefits right away that you get is that flush. It is a mild detoxification. Lots of water. So you get the benefits from being a little bit more conscientious of how much water you're taking in.
Got it. And are people expected to take a ton of shakes and supplements? So let's walk us through that. What does that look like?
Yes, it looks like real food first, because there is nothing that the power of whole nutrition doesn't have the ability to improve. So it looks like real food, and people are shocked when they see their plates, because their plates look like, a solid, 4 ounces of, maybe even filet mignon with 4 ounces of asparagus and 4 ounces of mixed berries. And then you've got this huge side salad along with it. And you're definitely never put in that. Believe me, you're satisfied. And that's really what it's about. People are a lot, they're just surprised and by what this looks like. So
yeah, I know I was surprised when, we'll have patients share pictures of what their plates look like and recipes that they're using and eating, and it's like, that's a ton of food.
Some people say in the beginning too, because there is a supplement involved that puts your body in this state of being able to protect its lean body mass. So all of your branched chain amino acids are met. And with that being said, there's some people who say, I can't eat all of that.
Yeah, it's interesting. So people are taking drops throughout the program, but that's really the only supplement.
Right.
It's just drops that they take a couple times a day.
That's the only supplement that they take. And like you said, they micro fast all the way into lunchtime. And then their first meal of the day is lunch, and then their second meal of the day is dinner. And the fast is really important because it is giving your body a much needed break from digesting food and breaking all of that down.
Yeah. And when they break the fast, right, at lunchtime, essentially, the foods that they're doing that with are not bagels and cream cheese and
ice cream and pizza.
Right. Or even McDonald's and, it's not, you're not then loading the system up with carbs and sugar.
Right.
It's all healthy, glycemic friendly foods.
Exactly. I call it the glucagon releasing foods. So your body can do 2 of 1 things. When you put something in your mouth, it can initiate more of a releasing response, or it can initiate an insulin response. And glucagon and insulin, glucagon's that releasing hormone, cannot act in the body parallel at the same time. So what's beautiful about this is that all of the foods and the way that they're put together, and I will say, there's a little bit of macronutrient, but you don't have to count that. That's what's beautiful about it. You're not counting calories. Oh, we should say that, because we talk about oh my gosh, we don't count calories, and you don't even count the carbs, proteins, or fat. That's already laid out for you.
Yep.
All you have to do is measure your food.
Just based on the types of food.
Yeah. And enjoyable food at that.
Yeah. So you have a pretty big laundry list of foods that you can choose from.
Yes.
And I think I know has been a key for a lot of people, is making sure to mix it up.
Yes.
Right? Because a week of eating the same proteins, the same veggies, the same fruits.
Right.
Number one is not going to be great for, compliance, but also your body needs variety.
It does.
It needs change.
Yes.
It needs,
we need variety and change. We need excitement. We need a little bit of, especially if you're a foodie, you definitely, you can so get on board with this.
Yeah.
It's funny what you said about the why that's not good. So the program does have you actually mix up your proteins and mix up the types of food that you're eating. Like, we don't want to eat the same amount of food that we eat for lunch at dinner. And the whole reason is because you can actually set a metabolic fire when you start recruiting different enzymes. We have so many enzymes that our body has inside of it just waiting to wake up and be used.
Yeah.
And being able to actually initiate some of that enzymatic responses actually heightens the metabolism.
Yeah. I was listening to something last week very similar to this, where they were talking about, why do the carnivore diet work? Why does then not eating any meat work? Why does if you take a look at any bookstore, there's at least 50 best-selling books from highly researched and well-written authors about the best way to eat.
That's right.
And most of the time it's because you're making a change in the body.
That's
the
right.
body adapts, and you're going to see results from that.
Yes, you are.
So in this 6 weeks, for most people, this is a pretty significant change to their body, because we're combining a handful of different techniques kind of all at once, but in a really systematic and doable way.
Absolutely. And I haven't seen anybody leave unhappy.
No, there have definitely been a couple people who, when they signed up for the program, I'm thinking, this could be, not a great program.
Right, of
they
course.
They were committed, they were on board, and but I have been shocked at the people who have done the program super successfully and done it multiple times.
Exactly. And I think one of the questions that we get the most often is, when we sit with people, is their first question is, am I going to gain all this weight back?
Yeah.
And the answer is no, because it's beautiful, because like you said, systematically there's a loading phase, a losing phase, and then what I like to call the locking phase. And that's actually allowing your body to find a new metabolic set point. So I talked about safety and satiety, right? Your body has a safe zone, and when you move that significantly, like when you're losing 20 pounds plus, your body has to feel safe at that new metabolic set point. That's the place where your body likes to hang out a little bit. And it will always, people ask, like, well, why do I gain weight after every detox or every diet or and it's because you have not reestablished a new metabolic set point. So what the end phase, which I call that locking maintenance phase, is probably the most important part of the entire program, because it sets in as your new body's safety zone.
Yeah. And I guess that's a conversation we like to have with patients, is the losing phase is 6 weeks. The locking in phase is going to be in addition to that 6 weeks.
Right, another 3.
Yeah.
Count on another 3.
It is not just a quick fix 6-week program and then go back to the way you were eating.
Right.
This is for people who are ready and willing to make an actual lifestyle change.
Right.
They're mentally they're ready to be someone different and make different choices.
Right.
And that happens over the 6 weeks, because I know from conversations that we've had with the patients,
Right.
you know, emotionally what happens over that 6
Yeah.
weeks as well.
Yeah.
I mean, they leave that 6 weeks, well, not even 6 weeks, right? They leave after the program, after they've
Yes.
locked in that new metabolic set point. In a lot of cases, a really different type of person.
Yes, a completely different person. Like
And they look like it.
They do.
They feel like it.
And they show
They're
up as the
acting like
person, exactly. So it's kind of like, you know, you show up as the person that you always knew was in here. And now you're just given the proper tools to just show up and be who you are and then do the things that it takes to be that.
Yeah. I was just chatting with someone yesterday about, you know, because we've got the 6-week program and then we've got kind of a reduced version of that. And, you know, she's like, so walk me through the differences. And I said, honestly, you know, one of the biggest differences is the accountability.
Oh my goodness.
So I think that's where the 6-week program is tremendously more beneficial.
Yes.
Is people, number one, they get access to you on a regular basis. So if someone is not losing, you know, you should be losing ounces every day.
Right.
And if they're not, then they're checking in with you, even if they don't have a visit.
Right.
You know, calling, emailing, what do we need to change? And so the program is customized.
That's right.
Completely customized for each individual person.
It is.
But having that accountability each week, how are you doing? What foods are we, you know,
yes.
How did you do? Because people
Right.
respond differently. This is not a cookie cutter program.
No.
This is a really unique and customized
Yes.
solution for people.
It is customized, person to person and biochemical individual need to biochemical individual need. And the truth is that if we could all do it on our own, we would be exactly where we wanted to be. But the truth is that we need each other to lean in and to shoulder life together with. And this is one of those things that, you know, that just being able to meet together or to touch base or even, you know, just, you know, what's going on here? Or, you know, sometimes people say like, oh, you know, is this sauce okay? And, you know, it's things like that.
They're bringing grocery bags of
Yes.
you know, different things in.
Right.
You know, I'm like, well, what's all this? I'm like, oh, I got to check with Angela to see like, what is this okay? Do I not do this? Or is this okay? This is great.
Yes.
So, yeah, it's always interesting.
It's fun. It's fun. Frank's hot sauce is a yes, just to clarify. Yeah.
Yeah. Interesting.
Yeah, and like you said, it's not a boring. It's not boring at all. You know, it's not a no salt, boring, seasoning free type of a. Yeah. There's definitely flavor.
Oh, for sure. But going back to the accountability, because I think that's the you've got a lot of physiological factors that change, right? You've got intermittent fasting, caloric restriction, low, you know, anti-inflammatory foods. You know, a lot of the things people know they should be doing on a regular basis. But that accountability, like I said earlier, I think is a big key, especially right now.
Yes.
Right. So we've talked in one of the last couple of episodes about, you know, exercise and how much easier it is just to show up for a class because you don't have to think about what to do.
Yes.
The same is true for programs like this, when you can look at, you know, okay, tell me what I can eat, tell me what I cannot eat.
Yes.
It may not be, it's simple, but maybe not necessarily easy.
Right. True.
And so, and then, you know, that person that I can kind of bounce ideas off of, or, you know, a lot of times your check-ins turn into more than just, you know.
Yeah, because you are losing.
There's emotional check-ins along with physical
check-ins. Because you are losing, it's funny, more than just weight, as you are actually losing and releasing sometimes years of things that have created heaviness. So we talk about the difference and the sameness in heaviness and weight, and how the body actually will carry cellular memory. So it's just awesome. And like I said, it's so much why I'm just in love with it, because it doesn't leave any, you know, stone unturned. Yeah.
So who is the program for?
That's
or who is it not for?
right. So if you have less than 20 pounds to lose, it's not for you. If you have more than 20 pounds to lose or 20 pounds to lose, it's definitely for you.
Yeah. And so that's something that we look at someone's BMI and we look at what a healthy normal weight should be for a person.
Right.
And so that's, we kind of have that conversation.
Yes.
Because there are people that have come in and it's not in their best interest to lose more than 20 pounds.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
And
so
there's we have those conversations.
Yes.
And there's still ways to help them reach the goals of what they're looking for.
Yes.
Without it being strictly through a more intense weight loss program.
That's right. And the other three actually that I can think of that this would not be suitable for active cancer patients. It's not suitable for pregnancy and lactation, and anybody who has active gallbladder syndrome. So any type of hyperactivity with your gallbladder, which means,
But if someone is recovered from cancer,
yes, absolutely, it's a great go. This is a great way to, jump in on some.
So who's the ideal person that should consider this program? Because that's not everyone either.
It's not everyone either, but most importantly, the top of my list is diabetics. So if you have diabetes, if you're experiencing a lot of digestional issues too, because like I said, one of the top 7 food allergies, antigens, they're removed on this program, which is awesome because they're, that kind of also takes pressure off, digestively speaking. Who else comes to mind for you?
So when you said diabetics, that I absolutely agree. I think there's even a larger subset of people. So if you look at the American population, 50 to 60% of people are overweight or obese.
Yes.
Right? I want to say up to 40% of the population, not even just 40% of those people, but 40% of everyone is like either diabetic or pre-diabetic.
Right.
And if you take a look at a lot of the other metabolic syndrome risk factors, right?
Yes.
So metabolic syndrome is basically just a collection of conditions, right? You've got high blood pressure, you've got your waist to hip ratio being greater than it should be.
That's right.
You've got your blood glucose levels or A1C being too high. You've got insulin levels being too high. You've got kind of a couple different problems that each one individually people kind of justify and either blame it on bad genes or don't think it's a major issue. But if you combine those, you're really going down a road that is going to lead to chronic degenerative multiple health issues.
That's right.
And this is one of the best things someone could do to reverse pretty much all of those factors.
Yes.
Now, if someone is taking, I want to be really clear, if somebody is taking medication because they're type 2 diabetic,
right.
If they are on blood pressure medications,
Yes.
if they are on basically any medication,
yes.
We are not going to direct you to stop taking that or change the dosage on that.
Right.
But we will let you know when you should be reaching out to your doctor.
Exactly.
Because as you lose weight, the goal, our goal, and hopefully your goal, and hopefully your doctor's goal,
that's right,
is to either reduce or eliminate some of those things as you make these healthy lifestyle changes.
And I keep seeing it happen over and over again. It's called correction. I will always say, check in with your primary care. They'll tell me, feeling a little lightheaded, blood pressure seems to be lowering just a little bit. Go check in. That medication gets, reduced by their primary care, and they're really happy.
Yeah.
So, and I want to jump on board too, because it made me smile, because I just want to remind you that you're not a prisoner of your genes or your genes.
Yeah. How long it takes to put your jeans on.
That's right.
That's awesome. So what's, how does somebody, what's the first step for
So the first
getting
step,
started?
definitely just touch base, give us a call, send us an email, and come in and have a conversation about what the program looks like and if it's a really good fit. There's some fun videos that we can watch together and just do a Q&A over the ins and outs and the particulars.
Yeah. And so we have our kind of standard program, and then we have, kind of a built-in, if you need more maintenance, we can add that. We even also kind of ties into the working with other physicians is we've got programs where we can do pre and post blood work with somebody,
Right.
so that, if we're concerned about fatty liver, or we're concerned about high cholesterol, or they already know they have those issues, we can do blood work at the end of the program. Then you have something to take to your doctor and say, okay, what can we adjust, or what can we change, what do we need to do
Right.
as a result of that? So we have kind of some different options for that, the main 6-week program. And then we also have, for the people who don't need to lose 20 pounds.
Right.
Right now we've got a lot of people who have gained 10 to 15 to maybe that 20 pounds.
19 almost.
19.
19 seems to be the number right now. Again, and if you feel like you're on the fence between that 19 and 20, just come talk to us and talk to me, and we'll get that one figured out for you.
Yeah, so that's the real magic is,
yes.
You guys sitting down together and just having the real conversation of what's best for everyone. Right. So there are options though. If somebody needs more support, somebody needs less of a program, we've kind of navigated a lot of those different scenarios.
Yes.
Yeah. And just for everyone out there, that initial consultation to find out which program is the best for you, we can do over the phone, we can do over Zoom, we can do in person, and that's free because we just want to make sure that you're heading down the right path. And so, where you choose to go from there is really up to that person.
That's right.
And so for full transparency, the cost of just the 6-week program is typically $6.99. So again, we have programs that are less expensive, but they include less involvement with you and less check-ins. But we still have people get fantastic results with that. So we want to meet people wherever they're at and give them, but trust me, there hasn't been a single person that has paid that amount and come back and said it was not worth it.
When you think of all the money that we spend on, like you said, books, or Weight Watchers, or Jenny
the
Craig,
Instagram program that you see, that
every time we go through Starbucks or fast food, or it actually winds up being that you actually wind up saving more money than you're spending
just on groceries
in the long run,
yeah.
and not having breakfast. So
right.
yeah.
So it's funny, you save money, and you also don't have to do a bunch of other programs.
That's right.
Yeah, interesting. What's walk us through probably one of the best success stories that you've seen with someone?
Okay, so
can someone come to mind?
I have so many people that come to mind that just...
I'll tell you what I've been most impressed with is how many people have had great success with the program for the first 6 weeks, and they do have more weight to lose,
yes.
and they want to do the program again.
And they cycle, and that's called cycling. And I have one just sweet-spirited woman that comes to mind right now, where her success is, again, so much more than just the physiological, but it is more so of just coming to love everything, like I said, who you are. like, you know, we're always, I call us human becomings because we're always becoming, but just being able to fall in love with yourself, but to address some of the things that might have been deeper rooted that you didn't know you were contending with, you know, just self-deprecating talk and where those words came from. And that's just really great. But like outside of the physiological, which is huge, because you know it does involve, you know, coming off of several medications, and it does involve, you know, just heart health and heart health. See, oh, I'm doing it again. But just being able to just be in a place where you can play with your kids and your grandkids, and you're not getting tired anymore, and you can keep up with things that, you know, you couldn't have, you know, for the last 10 years. And just hearing stories like that and just walking through that journey with them is,
I think, one of the best moments that I remember having with a patient is, you know, she would come get worked on after she would see you, and hearing her talk about how she was excited to go drop off her old clothes.
yes,
Because they were falling off of her.
yes,
And, you know, she was halfway joking about having to go buy new clothes.
yes,
But she was not holding on to those other clothes anymore because she was never going to need them again.
that's right.
And that was like, wow, that is so powerful.
Yes,
To, you know, be able to get rid of that.
exactly.
Clean out the closet in a lot of different ways.
Yes, yes, yes.
And like that was a really big deal.
Yes.
For this person.
So
And
big.
that's happened. I mean,
It
we've had
does.
that conversation with multiple people.
And it's so fun.
Each
So
time it's a really fun conversation
it's so
to have.
fun. We had someone come running down the hall, and I almost got a little bit startled at first, but just saying, Angela, guess what? And I was like, what? And she said, I have a collarbone. And I was like, wow.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah. How many years it has been since they were,
Right,
you know,
right.
seen. That's awesome. That's really fun. So, if you are interested in just learning more about it, give the office a call, 614-898-9195. Comment on wherever we are posting these videos at, or the audio. You can email the office. We're happy. We're an open book. We want to help you as much as we can, but this is by far the best weight loss program that we have come across, and the results have been just mind-blowing for us to see. One last story. So the you know, I've been doing the stairs at Hoover.
Yes.
And I got that weighted vest. Let me tell you, from a chiropractic perspective, we should have said this earlier, but when I put on and take off 20 or 30 pounds, that is crazy.
Yes.
That is a huge shift in someone's joints and back.
Yes.
And there is the, you know, aesthetic and emotional and, you know, physiological part, but from a joint perspective, 20 to 30 pounds.
Wow.
It's huge.
Yes, it's
huge.
huge.
So just wanted to throw that out there. But yeah, reach out. We're here for you. Thanks for tuning in and listening and watching again. And we will see you next week.